Hey folks, Ben from Chicago. Just wanted to point out one thing that I think doesn't get talked about enough about the upcoming Canto Bight sequence, which is that it's yet another explanation of something from the original trilogy that gets over-explained in a way that doesn't necessarily make it better. Talking, of course, about C-3PO's line in Mos Eisley when he says, "I Canto Bight those Jawas, disgusting creatures."
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Star Wars Minute. It's your daily show in which we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate The Last Jedi, one glittering minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
And I'm Ralph Attanasia from TV's Cake Boss and Buddy vs. Duff.
Welcome back, Ralph. Thanks for closing out the week with us here.
Thank you for having me. I feel welcome.
We are here talking about Minute 55. Minute 55 starts off with Rose opining that Canto Bight is filled with the worst people in the galaxy, and it ends a minute later with our friend Finn having a great time in Canto Bight.
See, she was wrong.
Tell your sister you were right.
Tell your sister you were wrong.
Well, before we get into it, we're here at the infamous Canto Bight, because infamous within the Star Wars universe and without the Star Wars universe. So
how could it be infamous without the Star Wars universe? You need it for people to know about it.
Wow, that's weird.
I think it's the kind of, it's like it would be like a folk legend,
right?
Even without it. It's one of those things that transcends story.
I understand.
As opposed to the folk canon.
Yes.
That one's great because it just shoots people.
Right.
So
that
this
machine kills fascists.
Finn and Rose arriving at Canto Bight, which I always refer to as the casino planet, but apparently the casino is actually a very small portion of
it's just a casino on a beach.
But I guess, the rules of Star Wars say whatever
there's
tiny
only
little
one
sample
thing
you
per
eat
planet
is the whole planet. So
what would be your ideal like monobiome Star Wars planet? Like there's a planet of just one thing.
Like which Star Wars planet would we live on if we could?
No. Like a Star Wars style planet of just one thing. Like a casino planet, a city planet, mineral planet.
I'm going to say red licorice.
Red licorice planet.
Red licorice planet. And you could have, two, like, over there is the Twizzlers and over here is the Red Vines.
That's basically the entire planet. That's all there is.
Wasn't there an episode of Star Trek where the Twizzler guys and the Red Vine guys were fighting and they're like, can't you guys see you're exactly the same? You're both gross licorice.
Yeah.
You're both just terrible.
So the shuttle comes in, Finn piloting it.
You didn't answer my question, Alex.
Well, I'd be tempted to say something like Coruscant, because a city kind of has a lot of different options and stuff, but I don't know what they're like. I like to be around nature too, so I guess I would say something like Endor, like foresty.
I'm about to blow your mind because I didn't have an answer to this prepared, but I thought of it while you were talking.
Yeah.
I would go to the Star Wars planet.
That's crazy. What would it be on there? It's never
a
ending
whole
Star
planet
Wars.
Of Star Wars.
The whole planet is one big Star War.
So it's like,
welcome to Star.
It's like Galaxy's Edge, but like a planet of Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, wow.
Does everybody know that do they know that Star Wars is a thing, or are they like not?
I don't know. Do the people on your licorice planet know that licorice is a thing?
They do. And
then yes.
Yeah.
Yellow jackets everywhere.
They're running around being like, eat me. And I'm like, I will.
Or I would say something like Scarif, like a kind of tropical paradise planet.
Oh, tropical paradise planet is a
nice
planet, man.
Yeah. But the problem with living in a tropical paradise is, where do you go for a vacation?
You go to the somewhere... Twizzlers planet.
You could visit your friend Pete on his Twizzlers planet. You're like, well, this is much worse than where I live.
But you gotta totally like shower or something first, because I don't want sand all over my Twizzler people.
You got your sand on my Twizzler.
Get into one of these molten Twizzler showers. It's not the worst thing you've ever imagined.
Yes. So as they're arriving, they arrive at nighttime. I wonder when you decide if I guess if you're going to a planet, you could decide whether you want to land at night or at day because you can just go to the other side of the planet. Right?
I mean, unless you have a specific destination in mind.
You have to go to. But we do see kind of a sail barge kind of a thing. I did think that was
cool. That's
super cool.
Did you have any information on that
I
ship?
have no information on the sail barge.
That is the yacht Undisputed Victor.
Wow, that's a great name.
Who is Undisputed Victor?
He's the only. He's Victor Borga was the Undisputed Victor.
Victor Borgnine.
Yeah,
Porgnine.
No, the Undisputed Victor is the yacht belonging to Baron Yasto Atzman.
Him, I did have information about.
Yeah, but that's his yacht. That's his boat. He owns that.
I hate Star Wars.
You were so excited about this minute ago.
I was, and then I remembered.
Yeah.
It's I think it's a cool concept, and I wrote Niagara Falls airship. I think they should totally have this kind of a thing where, like, instead of they should add this to Niagara Falls or
sure.
places.
Would
like
you
that
feel confident? I would not feel confident on it.
No,
yeah.
I wouldn't go near that.
Totally.
I wouldn't force project myself onto that vehicle.
I wouldn't, test it out, but I would totally do it once it's a regularly occurring thing. Every hour on the hour we're running the Undisputed Victor off Niagara Falls.
Oh, okay, yeah. If it's a known, although yeah,
there's something that feels kind of Edgar Rice Burroughs about that image.
Yeah, Jules Verne.
Yeah, it's
Jim Varney.
Yeah, and I like that it looks kind of like Jabba's ship, his sail barge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Baron, the Undisputed Victor.
Mm-hmm. Did you want to talk about the Baron? Said Baron.
No, it just said they at one point you see him talking to this lady who is the owner of the nightclub.
Oh, is that the mustache guy?
That is the mustache guy. He looks like
Yasto.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Yasto.
that's his car.
That's his yacht.
Yes.
Yasto. There's two things. Here's how behind the scenes Yasto is. Yasto says he has one line of dialogue here apparently, and he says Pablo Rain Kiri.
Yeah.
And that's a reference to Pablo Hidalgo, Rain Roberts, and Kiri Hart, who are members of the Lucasfilm Story Group.
I was
He
wondering.
says Pablo Rain Kiri. And you know who that is performing the line, the singular line, the voice of Baron Yasto
Prince William.
Atzman?
That's me, baby.
It is, in fact, Last Jedi director Rian Johnson.
I like that more than the big named after Pablo Hidalgo, who has ample opportunities to name characters after himself. So
anyway, yeah, he didn't name it out. He was just the line of dialogue written in there. So he
could be naming characters after me.
Yeah. He could
Pablo.
Have we? I don't know if we asked you this yet or not, Ralph.
It's a very sore subject, Alex, and I'd thank you to leave it alone.
Fair enough.
It's like you're like a tongue probing at a rotten tooth. You just keep going right back to it.
You are probably the person that would be most likely that this could actually happen to. So I want to know your answer. If you could have a cameo in Star Wars, like as a background person, who would it be?
Have we talked about this before?
That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you.
I feel like we've had the conversation where do you want to be, would it be better?
Maybe we did on the weekend show.
Be like a face thing,
right?
Or be in one of the cool aliens? Is that?
That's probably pretty much, yes. So, all right, if we talked about it already, then moving on.
I want to be shouting Sebulba.
Okay.
We all do.
I forget, is Sebulba still alive at this point? Do we know?
I hope not.
I don't think so, right?
I love Sebulba. But let's just be clear. He tried to kill that child. He's killed a lot of people. He's bad.
I think he should be a sports I think he should be a commentator now, the way
sure.
Sports guys age out of being a competitor,
like
and especially him having a controversial past of being a child murderer. That would be an added
You know
thing
what I
to
would
it.
I want to see
He'd
him
be the
paired
OJ
up.
of
I want to see him paired up with Ben Quadraneros, though, who I found out I guess he just had like like a years-long rivalry with after that Boon to Eve classic.
Wait, Ben Quaternaros and Sebulba had a rivalry? That seems like that's like Don Knotts and Mike Tyson having a rivalry.
Boy, was that a rough one.
Like
the I don't see that in here right now. I do see that at some point Sebulba switched from pod racing to battle racing.
Race battles.
That's where he should have been. Like he's basically he should have been wacky racing. He's Dick Dastardly dialed all the way up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Look at that. It's right above where I read it. So at some point during the Clone Wars, probably in an episode of Clone Wars, maybe there's posters that can be found advertising a showdown between Sebulba and Ben Quaternaros, who are now considered to be the sport's greatest rivalry.
Wow. So Ben Solo is named after Ben Quaternaros then.
And everybody's named Ben.
And Anakin had that poster in his room, I guess. That's the...
So posters exist in this. People hang up posters.
There's not supposed to be paper in Star Wars.
Right.
It's made out of like
things
some
that they're
space
supposed to not
polyfiber. Something like
Durasheet is what they... when they refer to it at all, it's that. It's something different.
I know we have a lot to get to, but I just wanted to read this...
I was excited to talk about this minute when this episode started, and Star Wars has made me exhausted.
Let me just we can move on. I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm just going to say that Sebulba was briefly gold 4. So
fair enough.
I'm not falling for that.
Nope. Let's go. What else do we got? Slow and low. Do we get there yet?
Yeah.
Slow and low.
Who's
Let
slow
yourself
and low?
go. That is the tempo.
He's the guy complaining about where they parked.
So all the Abednos are all named after Beastie Boys.
Almost all but
except for one.
Infuriatingly.
So I didn't know. I knew Eloasti. I didn't. But now I see that there is a pattern.
Yes. Oh yeah. There's several.
How do you say the name of those things?
Abednego.
Slow and low. Abedno. Canto. Holdo.
Yeah, Slow and Low is not only one of my it's one of my top Beastie Boys songs. Because originally it was a Run DMC song and they gave it to Beastie Boys to perform. But also it I just love the goofiness of the character and I love that name popping up as like Slow and Low sounds like a goofy Star Wars name and it is.
Also, I love that it breaks the kind of Star Wars monoculture thing. Like there's this thing in Star Wars that is kind of, it's a useful shorthand, but it also feels lazy to me. Where like every member of one species has the same accent. Like it's a species-wide accent.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like which would not be the case. It just wouldn't if they come from a whole planet. But it's everything in Star Wars is a big monoculture. You know, like a planet is one thing, a species is one way, but the Abednego kind of break that by all having different accents, which I really like.
They're gonna have to do a story explaining that he was raised by humans and that's how he got his.
Or he just came from like, you know, Abednego, Arkansas, and Eloastes from Abednego, Hoboken. Like they're just, it's fine.
Hobo.
Yeah, Abednego.
Abednego. I was trying to say it, and I can't even say Abednego. So,
do you recognize the voice of Slow and Low?
I do because I know
Slim Pickens.
I don't recognize.
Oh, I wish it is the voice
Edwin.
of G. Gordon Levitt, the staple of. From all the Rian Johnson movies. I think
Gordon Liddy?
No, he's no longer with
died?
us.
No,
Joseph
Levitt.
Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
JGL, who was in
Robin.
He was another Rian Johnson good luck charm.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason that annoys me. I don't like when they have famous people doing the voices of
So you don't like how John Wayne is Garandan?
Well, that was done probably against John Wayne's will, so I'm going to say I do like that one. If this was done,
Probably
specifically in
one of
his
the few things
will.
that was ever done against John Wayne's will.
If I ever, when I die, please do not use my voice to as the voice of an alien creature in any sci-fi movies.
I feel like if this was maybe secretly they recorded J. Gordon-Levitt talking and he was complaining about someone parking, and then they said, "Oh, we're going to use that in the movie." That would be great. If this is like found footage of him complaining about it, then I'll be okay with it. But it's the same. It's like having the royalty in James Bond appear as stormtroopers. It just seems like
no, it's different because it's not. Well, having James Bond appear as a stormtrooper, I'm okay with. I like that because that's I'd much rather have all the famous people just be, faceless cameos than be like, oh look, it's like
it's true. Christian
so and
Slater.
so.
Yeah,
I think I would have liked it more if it was someone who was kind of nerd culture adjacent.
Hmm.
Like if you told me Adam Savage was that guy,
Right.
I'd be like, cool, good for him.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe that's part of it. Maybe the fact that he's already a big movie star. He doesn't need
Right,
this
but
means nothing to him. He probably just said
it's-
yeah, and he left, and he probably forgot he did it as soon as he left the recording studio. Whereas Patton Oswalt would have been delighted to have done that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You like slow and woe.
Whoa.
Swody do.
Do you like
Get Joey
slow and
Lawrence
low
to it? I would have liked it more.
more or less than Snap Wexley?
Snap Wexley, I like less.
Okay, yeah.
Much less.
Snap Wexley is the worst.
Yeah.
But
I don't like people
I mean,
including their good luck charms and everything. Stop it already. Stop it.
No, I know. I'm okay with that on a just one or two in a minor thing, in not in major parts,
Okay,
not-
but I like it when Merle is in all the James Gunn movies though, because he's great. What's that guy's name?
Merle?
No, Yondu.
oh right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Henry, the serial
Henry
killer.
the serial killer, yeah.
Kill cereal.
There are people
Anyway, so we
screaming
have
at their
s-
computers right now.
I have some
Yeah.
more information about Slow and Low, which I thought was kind of funny. He's rich.
He's rich.
He's complaining about someone parking on the beach, so I'm assuming he's a rich jerk. He made his
He's
fortune
a
selling
Karen.
driftwood sculptures.
So he's an artist, so he came by it honest.
And according to the Visual Dictionary, he took his job very seriously, which is why he complained about them being on the beach. Which
His job as an artist? Oh, because he's looking for driftwood and he doesn't want them.
it says he sells driftwood. It doesn't say he's
Okay.
an artist
Oh
himself.
no. I'm
So
done
I'm not
with
sure
this guy.
I'm not sure what's going on there.
You know how you were talking about how the force is coming back around and it's becoming crystals and whatever?
Yeah.
That's him.
Hmm.
He's that guy.
Also, he owns a beachside residence, so he is specifically complaining because he's parking
They parked
on
on his private
on his
beach.
beach. So
Man, I'm getting whiplash going back and forth on this guy because I was like, well, okay, no, screw that guy. Well, no, and it's like, well, they're parked in his yard.
yeah.
No, they parked on his private beach, and private beaches are, I don't know.
Oh yeah, screw that guy.
Yeah.
He's a morally complex character. Let's all agree with that.
This is emotionally exhausting. I just want to talk about Jizz music.
Well, the music in this scene is a new cantina type song.
Mm-hmm.
And
go ahead.
No, you go ahead because I want to.
No, please. I interrupted you.
I have an issue with this song.
Issue tip.
In that every time I hear it, I think it's going to be the song "Bananas and Blow" by the band Ween, because that has a similar kind of like marimba, like dee 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 dee, and it's like a Jimmy Buffett takeoff kind of a thing. And every time this song starts, I start thinking about "Bananas and Blow," and it's like that's my problem with this song. I can't take it seriously on its own at face value.
I had a real journey with this song when I was watching the movie because I don't know, I wish there was more music in the style of the music from the cantina just in the world. It's very catchy, it's and I like that combination of steel drum and kind of jazz band. It's a cool sound. So when this scene opens up and it's like but da 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 da, and I was like, oh,
It is kind of dizzy. Yeah.
And I had a moment where I'm sitting there in the theater and I was like, man, I want a Punk's Not Dead t-shirt but of this genre of music. And then the part of my brain that's paying attention to what I'm thinking looked up from its newspaper and was like, this music is called Jizz.
Yeah. Jizz is not dead. It's not a shirt that we should be.
No.
Sadly. Did we ask you? I don't know. I forget if we asked you this in the other movie, Ralph. So, getting back to Slow and Low for a second. He included these for like I was supposed to say Beach Boys references because there's all Beastie Boys songs.
That would be cool too.
What band would you use as your, like, they're like, well, we're going to name all the aliens after, and then what, like people are Ween. I could see Ween being a good.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about They Might Be Giants earlier, and that's a good one because like Cowtown could be a
town.
Or an alien,
or
like
bounty hunter.
Yeah, they have a deep catalog too. So
they have thousands of songs. They've been making music for over 40 years, man. Like
that's nuts.
That or almost 40 years. That band's older than I am.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, when they had that dial-a-song thing for years, where they just had a new song every day that you would call up a number and hear.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I don't know, man. That's you got a lot to pull from there. But I'm gonna say Tom Waits.
Oh, okay. And he's still you could work him in as a cameo.
I would love to see Tom Waits in Star Wars.
He could have played this DJ guy. But anyway, let's talk about the casino.
I just want him to be in the Kenobi series just to hear him say Kenobi in his movie. Kenobi.
Yeah, I could totally hear that. So then we get they arrive at Canto Bight, and there's the famous zoom shot.
Dude, this zoom, I understand why people don't like the Canto Bight stuff. I get it. We can all coexist, like just like happy bumper stickers. But I love this zoom shot so much.
It's pretty great, and it's dense with cool stuff to look at.
Yeah, and then there's this little things you can pick out through the whole thing. Like there's just little moments of acting that are they're so brief, but they're so genuine. Like toward the end of it, there's like a human guy with a top knot. He's a little overweight, and he like throws down his cards in disgust and walks away. And like, it's not big. He doesn't oversell it, but it feels like I've seen that moment 100 times in casinos. There's just, it's fun. It evokes similar emotional responses from me that the cantina sequence does, but it doesn't feel like they're just doing the cantina again.
Right.
Pete, you look like you're waiting to hate this out.
I feel like Pete hates it.
Well, on a technical, I do like the shot, and I like the, I like the way that it kind of goes over the action.
Stop yelling at us. We get that you hate it. We didn't do this to you, Pete.
Toxic fandom.
Oh my God.
There's something, and this is going to be unsatisfying because I can't really put a finger on exactly what it is, but there is something about this, the design or the production of these characters, and it could be the lighting. One of the famous things about the cantina is that it looks good because it's dark and you can't see everything. And Jabba's palace, same thing. People you can hide in the shadows. But there's a certain there's like a Babylon 5 Fifth Element kind of I can aspect to a lot of these creature designs, or at least the somewhere in between the design and the production of these characters. It took a turn into that more so than Star Wars. It doesn't look Star Warsy to me, and I know that that's not a it's not a universal thing. Star Wars isn't Star Wars for everyone. You can like what you like, and I'm not saying you guys shouldn't like this, but for me, this doesn't ring true as a Star Wars scene. These aliens seem like a different caliber.
I do understand what you're saying.
I literally don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't take me out of it. There's stuff like the two of the first aliens that you see in this shot are both kind of like Wizard of Oz munchkins up in the front. Like they're just little wrong men.
Okay. Are those is that the Lucky Trio or whatever?
I don't know.
Remember those guys?
Oh yeah, Winning Three.
The Winning Three.
but they're just, and I do see what you're saying with like a Babylon 5 kind of feel to some of the stuff.
And don't get me wrong, I love Babylon 5 and The Fifth Element, but it's a different vibe completely.
Yes.
Did you feel the same way about the Maz's Castle aliens?
Less so, but there was a hint of it there.
Maz's Castle, I think, had the opposite problem.
It wasn't enough like Babylon 5.
Yes, I wanted it to just be a guy with spots and 2 mohawks. And Maz's Castle bothers me because it's the problem that I have with The Force Awakens throughout, where everything in there is close to being something we've already seen, but like, instead of just like, they have a hammerhead alien, but it's not an Ithorian, but it doesn't look different enough that I'm not thinking, well, why isn't that an Ithorian? You know, like it's that.
I think it is.
Through the whole, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's got one mouth in the front with big Jim Henson lips and a little beard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Praster Omen or Praster.
Yeah. And then
but I think he's a different
they're
part of the
supposed
planet.
to be related to Ithorians, which just makes me like it less, because if you're doing like you know, the speculative biology of that place, it's like, why do the blue people in Jim Cameron's space movie have 4 limbs and every other life form on that planet is a hexapod?
Yeah.
You know, like, you're breaking your own rules in a way that isn't satisfying. So I don't care for that. Like it's bad
like
design.
the more spidery looking Aqualish in the prequels.
I hate that.
Yeah, I don't love that either.
That's a similar thing where they made it look similar to the original Aliens, but made it different enough where they had to say, well, this is a mutant strain of it. Why not just make them look the same, or just make them totally different?
Right. When you sit on that line, it's unsatisfying.
Yes.
Right.
Whereas, at least in Canto Bight, it breaks the Star Wars rule of everything. It does go too far, but everything in Star Wars is a little samey for something that's supposed to take place on multiple planets.
Mm-hmm.
So at least Canto Bight feels different from everything else, but I do agree it doesn't feel Star Wars, whatever that means.
Right.
I agree also that these aliens do have a certain sameness to them, even though they look very different. And I don't know should they farm it out to different production houses so that the things look, you know, when the aliens show up, they're like, wow, we never would have thought of something like that, or like, don't make them all at the same place so they're not all using the same materials and stuff. I don't know what is it that's not the same. Or is it just that we're old people and we only want to see Snaggletooth? And
well, no, but it's that they like, it's a color palette thing. It's a finish as well, because everything in Canto Bight is very crisp.
Yeah, everyone
shiny.
in the casino does look like they have the same tailor.
Yeah, everything, like, they're all wearing black and white, and there's like an iridescence to some things, but like it's a very different color palette and finish and style than we're used to seeing in other things. Like, you look at Solo, and you have that place where they're all gambling, and nothing in there is a recognizable Star Wars alien. There might have been like a red Greedo or something in there, but everything else is like new weird stuff. But it feels Star Wars as heck, and that's because everyone's in grimy coveralls and flight suits and a big dumb hat, and, you know, like, that's Star Wars.
Yeah.
I did not notice how many stupid hats are in The Phantom Menace until I watched that movie again recently. On Tatooine is just like
Stupid Hat City.
Oh my gosh.
That's what they call Mos Espa. You can buy
Mos
stuff.
Espa is sand and deranged haberdashers.
Weird thing with them is hats.
Well, welcome to Mos Espa, Stupid Hat City, or you're going to get a hat that says Stupid Hat City.
I went to Mos Espa and all I got was a stupid hat.
Exactly.
Which is what Mos Espa is famous for. Right. Successful trip. It just says a lot of shit on that hat.
Yeah.
Pete, you are a film student. Did you notice that this was a homage to the 1927 film Wings? Has nothing to do with the sitcom Wings.
No, I know. It's the first movie to ever win the Best Picture, Academy Award for Best Picture.
That's right.
Starts with Wings. But no, I'm familiar with it, but not enough to be like, oh, that's a shot from Wings.
Yeah, if you go on YouTube, you can see the people have done side by side comparisons, so you can check it out for yourselves as to how much of a tribute it is.
Fun story: the movie Wings, the television show Wings, and this shot all have Tony Shalhoub.
Oh wow! I thought you were going to say Paul McCartney.
Look it up. It's true. Tony Shalhoub is also in the band Wings.
There's nothing that cannot be improved with a little Tony Shalhoub.
Well,
I'd like to see him in a Star Wars. I guess he's
love to see him in a Star Wars.
That other he's a Galaxy Quest property.
That's okay. You can double up on that. That's outside of it enough.
Oh yeah.
I think he can't do Star Trek now because he was in Galaxy Quest, but he can
One
do
of
Star
the
Wars.
best Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do see a lot of aliens in here, so I'm not sure how to approach it. If we just pick out highlights or
you
what
approach
to do.
it in just one long unbroken move straight forward.
Oh, that's a good idea. We should try that. Well, also I think Pete and I might have talked about this. Is there
you
a
guys
Tales
talked about Star Wars together?
Rarely.
We were wondering if there was Ralph, you probably remember there used to be Tales from the Mos Eisley Cantina,
Yes,
Tales
I
from
very
Jabba's Palace.
fondly.
Is there
Tales
a
from
Tales
the Bounty Hunters.
Is there a Tales from Canto Bight?
I don't know. They did a Tales from Maz's Castle, but it's a young adult and it's not very good and it's quite short.
There's an anthology called Canto Bight. But
but it's only like 4 novellas or something like that.
4
right?
novellas. So
I
not
would still
quite the
read it.
same.
That was.
Would you?
Who are the characters? Which characters do we know? I'll look it up.
What were you going to say, Ralph?
Pete, you mentioned, or I think it was Pete who mentioned this years ago when we were talking, that like for you, Star Wars was the first Star Wars and the Christmas special because those were the ones that you had on tape or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Betamax.
Yeah,
Betamax.
For me, as a kid, Star Wars was the Tales books.
Oh wow.
I reread those multiple times when I was like 10 to 13.
In your head canon, are those stories still true?
I mean, I don't see why some of them couldn't be. Some of the stuff obviously doesn't survive. Like, there's no mention of Lady Val anymore on Tatooine, the whiffed crime boss who was Jabba's rival.
Right.
Like, she no longer appears.
Maybe we'll see her in the Shobi one.
Maybe.
There you go.
I don't.
Do you still keep up with the books? Do you still read Star Wars? Because neither Pete nor I are Star Wars.
I've been trying to read some of the new canon books, and they largely fall into this. They all have a similar pitfall for me, which is that they feel as though they're of no consequence.
Mm.
You know, like they'll. A lot of them are just, well, how did that happen in the movie? You know, like, well, why does like they all feel like
it's
they're
there
in
to patch
service-
up continuity.
Yeah, they all
holes
feel
that
like
the
they're in
movies don't
service
cover.
of something very minor in the films instead of being a story on their own.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Well, then maybe this Canto Bight book might be interesting because it looks like it's not characters that we see, as far as I can tell. It looks like it's not like, oh, they make it tells the story of so and so that we see in Canto Bight. It's just like 4 stories centered around Canto Bight that are all kind of unique characters created for this. So it looks like it does its own little bit of world building. So that could be interesting.
That would be. I would be very interested in that. Because
Alex is making the face that I was making before for this, though. He has no interest in that.
Once I know it has nothing to do with real Star Wars, who cares? This could be a Babylon 5 novel then.
But I love that stuff. Though. I'm very into that. Whereas a lot of the new Star Wars books have left me feeling okay.
Mm-hmm.
I read Tarkin and Lords of the Sith. I was like,
yeah.
Aftermath's not bad.
I figure if the Tarkin one didn't grab me, then nothing's going to grab me.
Yeah. I felt that way too because Tarkin's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
But what I realized is that I like him in the context of being the villain of that Star Wars movie. Because he's lovely in that. Yeah. He's Peter Cushing being so he maliciously trills his R's at people. He doesn't have to. He does it because he knows exactly the impression that's going to make in that moment. He is a real, just cultured scumbag. Yeah, he's wonderful. And you love him in that regard. You don't want to read a book about, like, Tarkin going through the academy and like going on a hunt of carnivorous apes or whatever. Like, who cares?
Let me back up my earlier statement. It seems that they are characters who are in the film, but they were listed as first appearance because the book came out slightly before the film. So I was misreading Wikipedia, which is not the first.
They
like,
tricked you. They tricked
like
you.
hear nothing, see nothing, say nothing is a story that includes Yasto Atzman and some of these other people. Ubelia Gil, who's the lady that he's talking to, and there's the. I do not like these characters. This is totally this is a dumb thing that should just be. There's the Grammus. You know about this?
No. What is this?
The Grammus twins.
I love those guys.
The Grammus twins.
I love those guys.
The Grammus twins.
Rhombi Grammus and Parallella Grammus.
No, that's horrible.
Wait till you see they have outfits that like are angled so that when they stand together they form a square.
How do you spell Grammus? I'm looking it up right now.
Grammus.
Yeah.
And
we go to Grandma's house.
Oh my goodness.
I do like that they're the pattern on their outfit is like the carpet from The Shining kind of, but all black. It's like black on black.
I like their weird heads.
And they're performance artists, so it makes sense that they would be wearing weird clothes. They're like the Lady Gaga.
But I don't.
They're like, what's like not Klaus Nomi. Who am I thinking of?
Yeah,
Klaus Nomi.
Not Klaus Janson. Klaus does not dress like that. Klaus Nomi, yes. I do not like that they're Rhombi and Parallella Grammus because that's like that's a bad pun in English that wouldn't translate to a different. But
those names are as bad as Therm Scissor Punch.
It's like naming someone Porkins or something like that.
But now I do kind of want to check out the Canto Bight book, maybe. But I said that a lot about Star Wars and Star Trek novels, and I will never.
If there's an audiobook version of it, I'm definitely going to listen to it. I go through so much audio content at work.
Really?
There definitely is.
That's right. You were talking about the Hondo, not Hondo, Hondo.
Yeah,
the Hondo book.
The Hondo maneuver.
But like, what I sculpt all day long, and like once I've figured out what I'm doing at the beginning of a project, my brain just turns off, and it's all hands. So like, I don't know. That's why I binged the first 3 seasons of this show over the course of a couple of weeks at my job.
Wow.
To like the absolute just utter disbelief of one of my coworkers when I explained to him what I was listening to. The look on his face is like, why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Try telling people when you're the one that's actually making that content. It's a. My last comment is about the Canto Bight police.
Okay.
I do not care for their uniforms.
I like
they're a little. It's
weirdly. It does seem very Babylon 5 or more so Fifth Element or like Blade Runner kind of, or like, you know, like futurist kind of Mobius-y.
I was going to say Mobius is really what I get from that. The fact that they have those little capes and they're like very
too many accessories. Like get rid of one thing.
I like
Mobius
it a lot.
Is exactly the influence. That's exactly what I'm seeing, Pete. You hit it right
fair
on
enough.
the head.
Yeah. I do like Mobius. They also do carry electric shock stun prods, which now everyone has them in Star Wars. So
yeah, it's
nice.
Better than them having guns and killing people.
That's true. Although they do have that.
Yeah. Oh, well, they shouldn't.
I don't know if they kill people though, because it's probably, they're like nobody wants rich. It's all rich people with money. Nobody wants that mess of killing people around. I'm sure they detain people.
That's who the police serve.
And then they kill them off site or something. But no, I do.
Property crime is.
I do like their designs quite a bit.
Fair enough.
I'm doing politics on this episode.
And I like their teal pants.
According to the visual dictionary, the police are trained to subdue and arrest without resorting to lethal force.
Hey,
Even
Yeah.
the slightest injury suffered by a bystander or suspect could have costly legal and public relations consequences.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that's
Officers' blasters weaponry is set to stun by default.
ambulance chasers aplenty at Canto Bight. So
Yeah. So
Yeah.
well, anything else about the Canto Bight casino here?
I think this minute, even if you don't like the greater Canto Bight sequence portion of the movie, this particular bit is delightful to me.
Yeah, I think at this point it's tough. At this point, I would like to think that I was still non-judgmental about I wonder where this is going to go. So far, it seems pretty cool. You see a lot of aliens and
Yeah,
I think
catchy John Williams music with like a kazoo in it.
mm.
There's a
great
straight up kazoo in this song.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet, dum dum.
Well, you guys had anything else for minute 55?
I don't want it to end.
no. I think that's it. Again, I like the idea of the shot, but I don't like the alien design so much. But that's
Holy cow, you guys! It's Friday. What are you doing after this? Do you want to go get a beer?
Sure, space beer.
Yeah. I'll pick you up in a couple of minutes. I'm gonna change my shirt and then we'll go.
We're gonna go to Maz's or we're gonna go to Chalmers.
Oh, we're going to Chalmers, man. I ain't Mazes.
Well, Ralph, anything else you want to plug for people before we say goodbye to you for another year?
People. Oh wow, don't say that. Come on.
Oh,
I can't even come and bother Pete in Brooklyn anymore.
yeah, that's true. You can come out and bother him in California.
No, I'm not traveling anywhere. Are you kidding me?
It was always Zoom, I guess.
Yeah, it's always Zoom. Depending on when this episode comes out, we got a new season of Buddy versus Duff in the works. That's going to be very exciting. You can watch that on the Food Network. Me and my coworkers at Carlo's Bakery compete against Duff Goldman from Ace of Cakes and Charm City Cakes, the bakery, and see who does just decadent fall of Rome era extravagant cakes better than the other. That's fun. It's fun.
Canto Bight seems like a place where they have fancy artisanal cakes.
Yeah. We would definitely
like a fathier cake.
Catering to the war profiteers.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I can't think too hard about what I do for a living because it makes me profoundly depressed.
Well, all right, then we will drop it there. And hey, you guys, if you want to hang out with us virtually, go see us on Twitter. You can follow us all here with our. I'm gesturing so Pete can put in our things in post production, but I don't think he did it.
Pete,
so
put
I just
mine
like a fool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put it right here.
Yeah.
So those of you who are visually challenged, my Twitter handle is arobtwit. Pete, you are Pete the Retailer.
Mm-hmm.
And Ralph, what's your handle?
It's
these
at
days?
Cake Boss Ralph. But
Cake Boss Ralph. Easy enough to remember.
Don't bother. I hardly ever use social media anymore, and when I
are
do,
you
it's
blue-checked?
to complain. I am not.
Oh.
I found it I had a friend who's dated. You know what? I don't even want to get into it.
All right. Fair enough.
I don't care.
He doesn't care.
For all I use Twitter anymore, I go on there about once a week nowadays to just be like, well, politics are stupid, and here's a video of a shark.
Yeah. That's probably the best way to use it.
Yep.
No, I'm doing it right.
Yeah. So, okay, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on Star Wars Minute. We'll see you next time
Star Wars
on
Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
Star Trek.
Let's start over.